public defender is an attorney employed by the community and responsible for giving legal aid without cost to any person who seeks it and is financially unable to employ private counsel. It is his duty to defend those accused of crime until the issue is decided in a court of law. The first public defender's office in the United States was opened in January 1913. Over the years, other offices were opened. And today, that handful has grown to a network of lawyers cooperating to protect the rights of our clients. Our motion picture studios pay writers millions of dollars every year to develop exciting stories. But sometimes a true story within the studio itself can be more exciting than anything conjured up in the mind of a writer. This story began at National Film Studios.
And we have had so much in our life together. So do with us whatever will bring gladness to your heart. As your queen, your gladness will always be mine.
Your name Walton Loring?
That's right. You police officers?
Yeah.
You're under arrest. Assault and robbery. I'll get my film. I'll be right with you.
Assault and robbery. Those are serious charges.
I know, but I didn't mean to hurt him.
I'm afraid we'll have to come up with something better than that in court. Maybe if you were to tell me what you and Jack Taney were arguing about.
He owed me money and I'd try to collect it.
You knew that IOU you held of his was outlawed 17 years ago.
He still owed me the money.
I don't understand you, Walt. At one time, you were a well-known motion picture director. Now, it's hard to believe that a man of your background would rob a man of a few $100s.
Very few people in this business remember me as a director. So, let them remember me as a thief.
It was obvious that if I was to help, I had to start somewhere else. I went out to Walt's former place of employment, National Film Studio. Loring had many friends on the lot, but no one had any idea why he would have turned to robbery. I was about to give up when I decided to have a word with Sid Page, one of the studio's oldest employees.
You see, Walt, he never let any of his pals go around without money in their pockets. Now, I know, because I was one of them.
You think he wanted to help someone enough to steal for them?
Maybe. About a month ago, there was this girl who used to hang around here. Pretty as a brand new penny, but a little bit scared. I'm sorry, miss. I can't let every girl who asks go in to see Mr. Taney. Directors are busy people, and right now, with this new picture starting...
But the papers say that he has not found the actress to play the French girl. If I could just see him.
How many times have I heard that before? All of you girls jumping for the rainbow.
But someone has to win the part.
Now, look. You said you were here from France. You have people there. Take my advice and go back to them. Find yourself a nice French fellow and start thinking about kids. And a house. Believe me, it's not so bad. It's a job that lasts a long time.
And you won't hurt me.
I just tried to.
Later, I tried to get Walt to tell me who the girl was, but he refused to even admit there was such a girl. Then, when I returned to my office, I found a young woman waiting to see me. Her name was Andrea Jordan. Now, what can I do for you?
I read in the papers that you're defending Walter Loring.
That's right.
I came to ask you if there is somewhere I might help. You see, it is I who should be punished, not Walton.
You mean he's not guilty?
He is only guilty of being the kindest, most understanding man I have ever known.
Do you want to start from the beginning, please?
Well, it started about a month ago. Before that, I spent many months trying to become a motion picture actress. Taney.
You, know Mr. Taney?
Not exactly, but I have to meet him. You see, I am an actress.
You girls are all alike, aren't you?
Are you going to say the same things as the officer at the gate?
Oh, you've already met Sid. Well, I was, but I can see it won't do any good. Come on, I'll let you out. Say you are movie struck, aren't you?
I told you I am an actress.
Your dreams been getting in the way of your eating?
Why, of course not. I have money, lots of money.
Well, I was just going to have my lunch. I thought maybe you'd like to join me. You know, just to keep his old Dupper company.
Well, if you'd like me to.
It'd be a pleasure.
So he came to me after the performance and said, Mademoiselle, it is such brilliant artistry as that which you have shown tonight that makes me proud of the theater.
An amateur critic tells you great, so you figured you're ready for America in the movies, huh?
I am ready.
Well, at least you shouldn't have to go home without being able to tell the folks what the inside of a studio looks like. Would you like a first-class, personally conducted tour?
You would take me?
On what condition? You promise me you'll go home to the folks.
I cannot make such a promise. I know in my heart that I am a good actress, and I want someone else to know it.
All right. We'll make the tour without the promise. Now, this is what we call a live set.
What does that mean?
That means they'll be shooting here tomorrow morning. And this is the way the set will look when it's lighted. This set is being used in a picture called Rangoon, and out there is a panorama of the city of Rangoon. Pretty, isn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful. Just as I dreamed it would be.
Walton Loring had never lost his understanding for the ambitions of young people. So he decided no harm could come from giving this lonely French girl a quick look at a motion picture studio. And the short tour extended itself to 3 hours.
Moviolas, light banks, cameras, dollies. There's so much to know about this business.
Yeah, man could spend a lifetime and not learn all he'd like to know. I saved the best for the last.
What a beautiful set.
Miss National's new big production, A Star in the Sea. It's about a queen of Crete who, 1,000 years or more ago, gave up her life for her lover.
I have read the book. This is her palace?
Well, it's what we call an exterior. The scene they made today was where the queen was selling her subjects off. You see, they're about to sacrifice her to their god of the sea for having fallen in love with a man from the mainland, and this is where she reads a big scene where she tells her subjects she forgives them for what they're about to do.
You were here today?
Oh, yes. I always come a few hours early to watch some work just to keep my hands in production.
Tell me about the scene.
Well, over here is where the queen was standing, just right of camera. If I had been the director, I'd have staged it differently. Instead of 50 extras, I'd have called for 200. I'd have shown them how a big scene with a lot of extras should have been handled.
Did you ever have anything to do with these things?
Well, there was a time a lot of years ago I did a big picture like this. I called for 300 extras. The producer was upset at first, but when he saw the film, he changed his mind.
You were once a director?
Well, as I said, it was a lot of years ago.
You are a strange man. A background like that and...
I'm not complaining. I had my day in the sun.
I would like to have worked with you.
Well, now, maybe you still can. Miss Cash is always leaving a script around on the set. Yeah. Here's the scene they made today. Would you like to read the Queen's part?
You mean it?
Yes. Start with the scene where they drag the lover from the balcony and he's standing among the soldiers and people just below her.
So you come to me to say I am to die with Aziru. To make me forget a man I love. But do you think that even in death I could forget? Can one forget the world is round? Or that behind every good there is evil? forget the things you have said? The things we have done? You have been quiet since the reading. Was it so bad?
I've been thinking. You know, you have some very fine qualities.
You're just trying to make me feel good?
No, I'm telling you the truth. Oh, there are some things you do badly, but deep down you have real talent. I'd like to work with you. I'd like to bring them out.
You would coach me?
If you turn out as well as I think you will, I'll arrange for you to read for Jack Taney.
How can I ever repay you?
By being good, better than even you are possible. We'll start tomorrow at 8. I'll meet you at the banking.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
The following 2 weeks were endless hours of work for Walton and Andrea. No longer were they has-been director and movie-struck girl, but 2 hard-working creators with one goal, setting Andrea in Jack Taney's new production.
Well, was it any better, Walton?
I want you to come to the studio tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. Jack Taney will be here making some tests. You're ready for your big chance, Andre.
But will Mr. Taney let me read?
Don't you worry about Jack Taney. I started him as a second assistant director 20 years ago. I practically taught him everything he knows. He'll listen to me.
Hello, Jack. How are things going?
Well, what do you know, Walt Loring? What brings you up here from the back lot? Oh, Grace, will you get me those new sketches for the wardrobes and the French girl? That stuff they showed me is too dull. What were you saying, Walt?
I want you to meet a wonderful girl. In fact, you might say she's a protege of mine.
Oh, Walker, wait a minute, will you? Nice to meet you, miss. Sorry I can't spend more time with the girl, Walt, but you know how it is. Here, take her out on the town. It's a treat for me.
What do you mean? I didn't come here for a touch. This girl has talent, real talent. All I'm asking you to do is to give her a chance to read the part of Colette Duval.
You've got to be kidding.
This girl's a natural, Jack. I stake my reputation on it.
Your reputation? For what? Punching clocks? Reputation.
I had one once. And if I hadn't, you wouldn't have one today. And if I hadn't given you your first chance, you'd still be a bum.
Get this guy out of my set.
No.
If he comes back again, How do you like that has-been?
But he didn't let Taney's insult stop him. That same night he went to see Bill Ludwig, the head of National Film Studios.
You know, Walt, as long as I'm head of National Pictures, you've always got a job. Of course, I can't guarantee to help all your friends. Say, why is this girl so important to you?
First, because she's got all the qualities to make a star. And second, I want to prove something to myself.
Well, I tell you what, I'm leaving for the East tonight, be gone about 6 weeks. When I get back, why don't you and I have lunch or something, and I can say hello to the girl.
Sure. Hello all the way from France.
What?
Nothing.
Well, glad you stopped by, Walt. Do it any time.
Oh, it's so wonderful. I can hardly believe it's true.
It's true, all right. When I told Mr. Ludwig how much I thought of you, he said, Walt, test her. Just like that.
Who did he assign to the race?
Mr. Ludwig wants me to make the tests. He said, Walt, this test must be made your way. None of this flashy modern technique. I want a test like the old-time Walton Loring would have made it.
There is no one I would rather have.
We must hurry now. Get in your dress. We're all ready to go. Ready on the set.
Coming. How do I look?
lady of the theater.
If Mr. Ludwig doesn't like me, I'll die.
Don't you worry, he'll like you. Remember, Mr. Ludwig didn't assign you to any director. He assigned you to me.
Walter, and for your sake, I try to do my best. I only hope it is good enough.
Don't you worry, you just get up and do it as we rehearsed. It'll be good enough. Now, you know where to start. Action.
I do not know why you really wish me to die. I only know that all of you are my children. That my body will be restless and comfortless away from you. I used to hate your touch, but now it is sweet to me, even though it is to bring me pain. You think that in this hour you will punish my husband and me by ending our lives. But life is not measured in time alone. And we have had so much in our life together. So do with us whatever will bring gladness to your hearts. As your queen, your gladness will always be mine.
Well, camera and sound are wrapped up. Tired?
A little, but it doesn't matter. Imagine by tomorrow I will know. Really know if I have a chance.
Not so fast. Takes longer than that to get this film ready.
How long?
Well, there's a lab work on the film, the cutting and assembling, and the print has to be shipped back east to Mr. Ludwig, over which you'll get an answer within 10 days or 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
You mustn't be impatient. 2 weeks isn't a long time.
It is for me. You see, Walter, I don't have 2 weeks.
What do you mean?
The return trip ticket and a few dollars is all that is left from what I brought over.
But you can't leave now. Not when we're so close.
Little money can sometimes seem like so much.
You just leave that to me. I want you to stay. And you must make a good impression on Mr. Ludwig. We'll get you a whole new outfit.
But I couldn't.
You can pay me back when you become a star.
You really have that much faith in me?
Maybe we can say it's faith in myself. I still feel I know talent when I see it. And I intend to prove it to others as well.
I left the studio right after that. I promised Walter I would stay the additional 2 weeks.
Excuse me. Matthews speaking. Oh, yes. Thank you, Lieutenant. Thank you very much. That was Lieutenant Colton. He thought I'd like to know that Jack Taney is going to be all right.
At least we have that to be thankful for.
Now, why don't you go home and get some rest?
Well, what do you intend to do?
Well, evidently, the only one who can fill us in on the rest of the story is Walton Loring. I'm going to see him.
Oh, I wish I could do something to help.
Perhaps you have already.
All right. Now that you know about Miss Jordan, I have no reason to hide anything. I was making my usual rounds of the lot when I happened to look up and saw a light in Mr. Taney's office.
What are you doing here?
Well, for one thing, I want to apologize for what happened. I realized I made a fool of myself.
All right. The opinion's unanimous. Now get out of here. Can't you see I'm up to my ears in work?
Well, there's another thing. I need some money. $300.
Why come to me?
Well, in all the years I've been in this business, Jack, I've never asked anyone for a dime. I loaned them. But I'm asking you. I'm asking you for $300.
Are you crazy?
I let you have a lot more than that when you were getting started.
Look, I'll ask you nicely just once more. Get out of here.
I only want what's coming to me. I have your IOU here for $300.
December 23rd, 1933. I paid that back 100 times. Can't you remember anything? Extra work? I carried you on my preferred list for years.
Well, you still owe me the money.
Getting thrown off my set wasn't enough, huh? All right, I'll throw you out of my office.
took the money he owed me, and I put the IOU in his place. That's all there is to it. When I realized how badly he was hurt, I called the ambulance.
Well, that may be one thing in your favor, Walt. I'll work on it.
Thanks, sir.
The morning paper had carried an item that Mr. Ludwig had been called back to the studio from his business trip. I went out to see him.
Mr. Ludwig? How are you, Mr. Matthews? Sit down. Thank you. Well, Mr. Matthews, I know what you're going to ask me, and, well, I have to be a heel and say no.
Well, the way I understand it, Taney owed Loring that money.
Well, I guess Taney owes about everybody in town. That doesn't give them open season on him.
All I really want from you at this moment, Mr. Ludwig, is 6 minutes of your time.
All right.
Walter Loring made a screen test of the girl he was talking to you about. I took the film from his personal effects at the jail. I thought we could look at it together.
Well, how will that help?
Well, I'm not sure. But if Walt had enough faith in Andrea Jordan to risk his future in making the test, we ought to be able to risk a few minutes of our time looking at it, don't you think? Well?
June, get me a projectionist in room 3, please. 16 millimeter. Right here, Mr. Matthews.
So do with us whatever will bring gladness to your hearts. As your queen, your gladness will always be mine.
What did you think of the girl?
Not bad. Not bad.
Then you think she has something?
Could be.
So what are you going to do?
Well, I might sign her to one of those 6 months option deals, start her in small parts, see how she makes out.
It's been a good day all the way around for you, Mr. Ludwig. Not only did you find yourself a talented young girl, but you never saw a screen test that cost the studio less.
All right. I'll have a talk with Taney.
You think he'll listen to you?
He'd better, with rapt attention. You see, Taney has an option coming up, too.
Sounds like blackmail.
Well, if they pin it on me, you'll be my choice to represent the defense.
Fair enough. After a conference with Mr. Ludwig, Jack Taney admitted that his attitude was the cause of Walton Loring's outburst, and he requested the district attorney to dismiss the charges. Walt is now back at his old job, and he's a happy man, for Andrea Jordan is well on her way to success. Walt gets a big kick out of coming into the studio early to watch her on the set. The case you have just seen was brought to a fair and just conclusion through the efforts of a public defender.